they put Bud on the phone. I'm like, I'll fuck you up this, that, and third. Nigga, where you at? Like, I'll pull up on you right now. What's up? Nigga talking all that shit. Went over there, right to Bud Gym where he training out and shit on my shit. Like Terance Crawford word champ. Like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about that. Y'all tripping. I'm like that. Like, the next thing you know, went up in that ring. Shit, I'm trying to do my thing at first. Feeling real tough, confident. Nigga, 2 seconds, nigga, like 2 minutes into the round, I start feeling his man strength.
Hey, it's the Empire. Boxing Empire. Backshot Boxing. Now, man, you guys heard my boy Shakur Stevenson talk about sparring my boy Terance Bud Crawford, and you heard what he said, man. He said he got beat up, man. He's got bullied and beaten in the ring. Now, man, I can only imagine that my boy, undefeated, unified, lightweight champion, former lightweight champion, undisputed champion, Terance Crawford was thinking about ERROL Spence Jr. when he was fighting Shakur Stevenson. There's no reason to beat a boy like that. Why are you beating on this boy, Terance? This guy's only 23, bro. What's wrong with you? No, my boy Terance Crawford, man, he's thinking about Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur Stevenson's a southpaw if you didn't know, and that's how you prepare for a fighter, an elite level fighter, if you're gonna fight a top guy. If you're going to fight a dangerous fighter, what people usually do is try to get someone to mimic that fighter. Now, ERROL Spence Jr., like I said, is a southpaw, and Shakur Stevenson is a boxer at heart. And there's been times in ERROL Spence's career when he's boxing, right? I.e. the Mikey Garcia fight. Controlled the fight outside most of the time, and then walked him down and posed himself when he wanted to, right? But that was later. That was the later half of the fight. For the most part, ERROL Spence Jr. was boxing, right? And there's a lot of comparisons to Mikey Garcia and Terance Crawford, right? Mikey Garcia was coming forward that fight. He was trying to hurt ERROL Spence, and ERROL Spence kept Mikey Garcia at a distance. So, that being said, man, Terance Crawford fighting a southpaw like Shakur Stevenson, he tried to do the same thing. Try to come forward on a southpaw and try to impose himself, much like Mikey Garcia did. Terance Crawford thinks that's the way to beat a southpaw because he's doing it to Shakur Stevenson, and he's making he's basically running just like a practice session on Shakur Stevenson, a practice session. So that's wild, man. I mean, there's not too many elite level southpaws around Terance Crawford's weight class. The only other southpaw I can think of really is Josh Taylor. If Terance Crawford can get a fight with Josh Taylor just for sparring, I think he can prepare for someone like a Terance Crawford. I think if he rotates Shakur Stevenson in and a Josh Taylor, I think he has a really good chance of mimicking ERROL Spence's style, because Shakur Stevenson's a boxer. He's on the outside. He can box. And then when he wants to fight a guy coming in the inside, he can fight someone like a Josh Taylor who has wicked body shots, who can box when he wants to. He's basically like a clone of ERROL Spence Jr., but a smaller fighter. It's just when I see orthodox fighter fighting a southpaw, it's just unusual, very unusual. It's obvious he's comparing ERROL Spence to all these fighters. That's why he's fighting these southpaws to get used to the angles, things like that. Because fighting a southpaw is different from fighting an orthodox fighter. The distance is different. Everything's different. Usually people, when they fight southpaw, they start reaching and they try to get closer to the southpaw because the southpaw is so far away. Because their jab hands, both are jab hands, a southpaw jab hands the right hand, and the orthodox jab hands the left hand, and they're so far apart. The orthodox fighter tends to reach in because they don't know the distance, right? So that being said, man, Terance Crawford, I no doubt in my mind, I think he's preparing for ERROL Spence Jr. by making an example out of Shakur Stevenson. Crazy stuff, man. I'll link it in the description. My boy Shakur is talking about it, and he was very honest, very humble about it. It was a humbling experience for Shakur Stevenson. He very humbling. I was shocked that he just admitted it outright. I was shocked. But yeah, man, that's the nature of the game. I mean, you got a featherweight versus a welterweight, so I mean, is it really that shocking? Not really. But still, you think he'll hold his own for a round or two, but it didn't seem like he won a round. But yeah, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Boxing Empire. Peace.